your viewers, listeners as well.
I hope you're well.
God is faithful. I'm in good health.
Well, what do you make of the 2 new nominations that have been put before Parliament by the President?
Oh, in terms of their individual work as lawyers, there's no doubt about it. I know Dr. Richard Frimpong on a personal level. I've worked with him on a project before. I've also practiced before Justice Benasco Esa at the High Court when she got to the Court of Appeal. In terms of their work, I don't think there's any problem. But the question one may ask, the timing. Why now? The necessity for it. Once we are able to answer the necessity question, then the rest may just fall in line. My question is, and my understanding is that the Justice, Dr. Richard Frimpong is supposed to be a replacement for Justice Nana Megache, who went on retirement. And then Justice Benasco is supposed to be a replacement for Justice Mariama, who will be going on retirement November this year. That's what my understanding is. So, Senna, that's what it is.
So your basic issue is with the timing, even though does the justification not answer the timing question for you, that there are 2 justices that are retiring that needs to be replaced? Is that not sufficient enough?
You see, I usually have this position, and I want to put it the reverse. Would I, if given the opportunity, tell President Mahama not to appoint additional Supreme Court judges? Do you get my point?
Yeah.
In terms of the reverse.
Okay.
I'll certainly not. I'll tell him that appoint. You get my point?
You will tell former President Mahama to appoint additional Supreme Court if he consulted you?
Yes.
Well, if you add the extra 2, you would have had 16. 15 plus the Chief Justice.
You see, Senna, you see the U.S. Constitution. It's over 200 years. Ours is barely 30-something years old, correct?
Yes.
Will it interest you to note that the U.S. Constitution places no ceiling on the number of U.S. Supreme Court judges? Do you know that?
Oh, so it's open. They could have added
more.
It's
open. It's open.
Okay.
In fact, the 9 that they have has only come about by way of convention. And all presidents have decently stuck to that convention. You see, I've always maintained that a president should have a normal self-restraint. When I say self-restraint, what I'm simply saying is that he sees an opportunity to do something, but he says, no, I won't do it. For one reason or the other. You see, when the framers of the 1992 Constitution were putting this Constitution together, they never anticipated that they would have a president like Akufo-Addo without self-restraint. As we speak, today, the president is swearing in no less than 16 justices of the Court of Appeal. I hope you are aware.
Today?
Today.
Today, Tuesday, 23rd July 2024.
Yes. It was a list of 20 justices. Yes. A list of 20.
Of the Court of Appeal or High Court?
Court of Appeal. Already, we have about 35 Court of Appeal judges. So, assuming we have another 16 or even 20 adding, that would be about 50 something, correct?
Yeah.
Good. So, what does it tell you? And you want me to advise your Mahama to do what? My brother.
What would be the end of that advice? Because if there are enough judges at the courts, why do you need more?
To serve the very reason why we have the numbers now. And so I am fundamentally opposed
Hello, Lawyer. Lawyer. Well, we seem to have lost Lawyer Godwin Edudzi Tamakloe on the line. We'll be having this difficulty. So we'll try and get him back on the line, conclude this conversation with him. We have one other issue we just wanted to raise with him briefly before we let him go. In the meantime, our own in-house, what do you think? First of all, should the speaker have sacked them up?
The man. Say, me share video no say na. Say a kwan say papa no e to bi anye wo kasa ne nko an wo ni ye bi wo parliament. Say a kwan fa so dum ne mic no. As na ni bo fu speaker say speaker e kasa e. Na me hwe ni the latter part no. O de cobra.
Okay, so Lawyer, you are making a comments about being opposed to something. You did not land.
I was saying that I am fundamentally opposed to those who say we should place a ceiling on the Supreme Court and what have you.
That includes a substantial number of Ghanaians, including myself.
I disagree with that position. And let me explain. You see the U.S. Supreme Court, the conventional 9. These conventional 9 justices, currently, you know, we have a democratic president. 6 of the justices were appointed by a Republican president. They are conservatives. Only 3 are liberals. Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor, and
Hello? Lawyer?
That recently, hello?
Yes. We lost you briefly there. You were going through
You realize that issue about Donald Trump's justices said, yeah. So, you remember?
Which issue did you?
Hello?
Yes. I keep losing you. So I heard Donald Trump, some issue about Donald Trump.
I say when immunity came up.
Okay.
the question the U.S. Supreme Court answered, ruled in favor. The point. Hello, Senator?
Yes, yes. Like I said, I keep losing you. So there are portions of your speech that I don't really hear.
Is it better now?
Okay, far better. Let's try.
Better now?
Yes. Please go ahead.
When presidents, they were growing that issue.
Please let's call you back. Let's call you back,
okay.
Because we keep losing most of what you're saying. So we'll get in touch with lawyer and then put him back on the line because clarity is a problem here. So we're calling him once again. We'll get him on the line and then we'll continue the conversation. We keep losing a portion of what he's saying. When he gets to a certain point, then the line mutes. So I don't even hear his full submission. So
Kasaka
yes.
breaks a bum.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try again. Let's try again. He's back on. Like you're making a point.
So I was saying that recently the U.S. Supreme Court was faced with the issue whether Donald Trump's immunity, because he had raised the issue of immunity in one of his criminal trials, and it went to the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court delivered its judgment 6-3. 6 in favor, 3 dissents. The 6 are conservatives, appointed by Republican presidents. 3, who said he did not have any such immunity, were appointed by Democratic presidents. Right? When Biden became president, there had been a lot of calls from Democrats that the structure of the court now, right from the times of George Bush, had never favored the Democrats. And so something should be done about the Supreme Court by President Biden. So President Biden quickly set up the Commission of Inquiry, more or less, to take the views of Americans on this matter. They have presented their report to President Biden. Their calls are this. President Biden has decided to exercise self-restraint in not implementing their recommendations. Like I told you, the U.S. Supreme Court, the U.S. Constitution, 200 years old, had never placed a ceiling on the number of Supreme Court judges. There must be a reason why the founding fathers of the U.S. Supreme Court, the U.S. Constitution, never felt the need to place a ceiling on the numbers. When the framers of the 1992 Constitution, they were minded, they would have added a ceiling. There must be a reason why they never placed a ceiling on it. The superior wisdom of the makers of the 1992 Constitution, I think they looked at all scenarios. Possibly they never knew that we're going to have a president like Akufo-Addo without self-restraint. Why should I be the one recommending that a ceiling should be placed? No, I won't do that.
See, because of the Akufo-Addo experience, and secondly, the cost of maintaining a Supreme Court judge is not that cheap.
Justice has never been a cheap thing, correct? And democracy is not being cheap. How much does it cost us to elect our office? The election itself. How much does it cost us? We should do away with elections. Wake up one morning, assemble at the mass station and decide. Senate today, you will be this. Is that what you are talking about tonight?
No, those are. But what is that? Why are you comparing the two? This one at
Why
least.
not?
No, at least on the issue of the appointment of judges, we have given the power to one person. You are giving the power to one person.
But
And we're hoping that this person thinks
exercised.
about our circumstances.
That power is not exercised absolutely. It's subject. You see, the problem we are having is that we are not doing a holistic evaluation of issues. We tend to be ad hoc. The constitutional provision on appointment of justices of the Supreme Court says what? It says the president shall appoint on the advice of the Council of State in consultation with the Council of, subject to approval by Parliament. Correct. If each one of these organs are playing their role well, you can control even an erring a president without self-restraint. Correct.
Yes.
The Council of State is made up of very respected people, retired justices, retired chief justice, an IGP, prominent chiefs, among others. Correct. Why are they not able to look the president in the face? Is it not the same the Council of State that advised the president to appoint a known NPP person to the Electoral Commission? Huh? Yeah. So, unless of course you are saying that we should also do away with the Council of State. The Judicial Council is made up of the creme de la creme as far as law is concerned in Ghana. Correct.
Yes.
What has been their position on matters of this nature? In recent times, have we not heard that at the 24th July 2024 meeting of the Council, they rejected the 5 that Akufo-Addo or the Chief Justice proposed? You didn't hear that?
Yes.
So it means that it is doable. Yes.
I see.
What it means is that it's doable.
So your suggestion is that if the other checks work, we will not be having this discussion.
That's all.
Okay. Interesting.
That's all. Have we not seen a Chief Justice who proposed 5? And the Judicial Council that she chairs at least had the courage of conviction to tell her that, no, this one, Alabraka. These 2 were approved by the same council in February. Look, Parliament is going on recess on the 2nd of August until they come back in October. Right?
Yes.
So in October, they are now coming to consider these 2. Right? That's what it is.
Well, let me move on to another issue. And
Senna, why have you given up?
Yeah, this one. I get your point. I get your point very clearly. But I wanted to move you into another issue because I realized that this secretary to the military, I'm not sure what the title of the person is, but the high-ranking secretary in the Ghana Armed Forces actually gave evidence in the matter.
You know now there's a court order against all kinds of conversation on this matter. So let's respect that order.
So you cannot make any comments on it?
No, at all. I don't want a situation where somebody would decide whether what you have said offends the other or not. I don't want to put my, in the Bible, there's a story of David after his encounter with prophet Nathan. And when all was said and done, and it was obvious that David was in error, you know what he said? He said he prefers that God judges him than a fellow man. Because at least God is merciful. He's not sure of man. Listen carefully. That at least, as for God, he knows he's merciful. By a fellow man, men are driven by many things. So you must always be careful.
That's a loaded comment.
Yeah. Men are driven by a lot of things. You see, Senna, in this life, these little things that you do every morning, you leave your wife, you come and sit on radio, you are doing this. You are putting in the best of efforts. That's enough to provoke somebody's resentment without more. That's enough to provoke somebody's jealousy without more. That's enough to provoke somebody's envy without any other things. So you always need to be careful of what man can do.
But within the context of what Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa has put out on the spare parts issue, what you're faced with currently, what do you think? Reading through the documents he's been putting out.
See, you people are not even asking the critical questions based on the information put out by Okujeto. So now, you people are not doing justice to that matter.
Critical questions. Which are?
Critical questions. Okay. Do you have the documents Okujeto Ablakwa has put out?
Yes. I've been looking at it all morning.
So go to the incorporation document. You have the incorporation document.
Incorporation documents.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm looking at it.
Okay. Go to the list of directors.
Yes, I've seen the list of directors.
Now start naming them.
There's Osman Inusa. Is it Kaliu Dauda? Stephen Okoro?
Now, wait. Do you know Stephen Okoro?
No.
Sena, you don't know Stephen Okoro?
No, I don't know Stephen Okoro.
Okay. So Stephen Okoro is directly connected to the president's daughter, Jan Kroma.
Stephen Okoro is directly connected to
connected to Jan Kroma.
How?
Yes. That's why I'm saying that you people are not adding you are not asking the very critical questions. So, in 2018, when was this company incorporated?
That's April 2020.
April
2020.
So this is an SPV.
SPV.
It was purposely incorporated just for this ambulance contract. Sena, are you there?
Yes.
And it was given a sole source contract to supply the ambulances. Who is behind it? This is not like a foreign company that will know. like the likes of Big C and others. This is a Ghanaian company. Incorporated which date?
I think that's 20th April. That's the date I'm looking at. 20th April 2020. 24th April 2020. Yes.
Perfect. And among the directors of this company is the name who?
Stephen Okoro. That is the one you've drawn attention to.
You see, if you go, Stephen Okoro has always been. In fact, there's a story by Herald. When you finish, you can call Larry Alansdogbe. Stephen Okoro has always been the boyfriend of Jan Kroma.
Boyfriend?
Yes. This ambulance contract, $54 million, is directly for the president. In fact, there's a story by the Herald newspaper, 2015 story by the Herald newspaper. Larry Alansdogbe has a bit more of files on this Stephen Okoro guy. So this one, it is a sweet deal from the presidency itself. $34 million to supply spare parts. Hello?
And you believe that Stephen Okoro is acting in the interest of the presidency?
No doubt at all. No doubt at all.
And that this company was formed to do one thing: take this contract and
just
execute
for this ambulance job. It's just a front.
I see.
You remember somewhere in 2010, August 21st, 2010, Jan Kroma ran her car into a Mr. car. You remember that incident?
Yes.
You remember that incident?
Yes.
Good. You remember that 7th September, Jan Kroma was in court over a misdemeanor. And she was made to pay, I think, 480 Ghana cedis. You remember? In that conversation, is I said, Stephen Okoro.
I see.
Oh, I'm surprised you were looking elsewhere. No, but ask yourself, $54 million contract.
34.
You say?
It's 34.
No. The original contract for the supply of the ambulances was $54 million. And an additional $34 million to supply the spare parts. So now you are not getting the thing.
Yeah.
So this is a deal cooked by the presidency itself. Now, you know the agency that awarded this contract?
No. Take a step back. Are you saying the same group of people actually brought in the ambulances?
Yes, it's the same people.
So they brought in the ambulances and were given an extra contract of $34 million.
Now bring the spare parts. So there was an initial contract to bring the ambulances. I think there were 307 ambulances then. Correct?
Yeah.
Good.
And the Stephen Okoro is connected directly to the president's daughter.
Direct. As somebody will say, I knew this story in 2018. You see, at that time, this ambulances contract fell under the 1 million per constituency. You remember when NDC MP started asking their share of the $1 million per constituency, they were told that it is not 1 million that is coming to them directly, and that there will be $1 million worth of projects.
Yes.
And one of them is the ambulances. You forgot it?
No, I've not.
That is where the deal was cooked. Right at the office of the president. Under the Ministry of Special Initiative, our Conscience Ministry, then. And so all these procurements were undertaken right at the office of the president.
Okay.
I wanted to say something, but it will border on the matter in course. So I would leave it for now.
So you are avoiding even mentioning the matter in court in relation to this?
Yes.
I see. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
No, but I want you to, your investigative work, to pick up this Stephen Okoro connection.
Okay.
And further, all the lives of Larry, Alandogbe, and Co, who did the story in I think the Republic newspaper as well.
Okay.
Yes. Edudzi Tamakloe and Co.
Okay. Noted. Thank you.
So now we are talking about almost $87 million worth of contracts for the ambulances.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Duly noted.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to us this morning.
Have a pleasant day.
Well, so small pieces of information. I only forgot to ask him whether he was pounding fufu or they were pounding at there. I forgot that because I could hear something. Maybe they were pounding at there or fufu. But anyway, but small pieces, bits and pieces of information. Lara has been very helpful in putting some more because Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa also talked about the Stephen Okoro